All right, everybody, if you're watching this on my backup channel, Professor Doom 1 or Roman numeral 1, I have two videos up on my regular channel right here, Professor Doom 2. And they are the first two videos in the series. So if you have not seen these, go to Professor Doom 2 to watch these, and this video that you're watching now will all make sense. All right, thanks, everybody. Since we left off with a mural depicting a goat with what appears to be a butterfly on in between his eyes, I figure it's fitting that we go straight to the Swiss Goddard Tunnel ceremony of the goat god. Yes, because he comes out and he says, and it's translated, that he is the king of the world. Right? Do you know what's interesting, everybody, about this Swiss tunnel ritual? One is that the Titan gods are allegedly, what the story goes, is that they were covered in gypsum dust. And it was interesting that the characters that were coming out of the tunnel in this ceremony were sprinkling themselves with gypsum dust. It is also interesting that Switzerland happens to be the home location. Davos, Switzerland, is the location of the World Economic Forum headquarters. Who was all at attendance for this ritual, everybody? That's right, corporate elites from all over the globe. European, American, and others. How much do you want to bet that the exact same corporate entities that are involved with the World Economic Forum were in attendance during this ritual? Did any of them question, well, hell, I don't even know what the hell this was about. What in the hell is this? They don't have to question it because they all do know what it's about. Every single last one of them knows what they're involved in and what's going to happen and what they're doing. Does everybody understand that? Let's just look how crazy it was. So you're going to tell me that none of the individuals were startled? The elite spectators weren't startled by the presentation they were viewing? That's right, they weren't startled because they know exactly what this is all about. They know who the king of the world is. They know how he's associated with the goat. They know all of this, and you're going to know it, and you're going to know a heck of a lot more too. So I want you to take a look at this NRO patch right here with the dragon. But what I want you to focus in on is the tail. I want you to look at the tail, and I want you to look at this symbol right here, this diamond-shaped object. Okay? Take a look at this. I want to show you something. So yeah, if you guessed it, are we going to be turning now to Superman for some clues that's going to lead us to the World Economic Forum? You're damn right we are, because this symbol right here to me is the exact symbol that is on the chest of Superman, and not only on that chest, but on the chest of the Sector 7 guy from the Transformers. And there is that logo right there, Sector 7. Do you remember we were talking about the magic, or the magic number 7, and how it's associated with the serpent Abraxas? Well, because that is a serpent on the chest of Superman, not an S. You're going to hear it out of his mouth himself. This is a serpent, everybody. This logo right here from the NRO is the exact same thing from the Superman for a reason. And now let's go take a look at Superman, Transformers, and X-Men. Now, I want you to look very closely at what she's going to present and listen to the dialogue very, very closely.
Since 73, there have been cults who see them as some kind of second coming or sign of God. I was tracking one of them. They call themselves Ashir en Sabanur, named after an ancient being they believe to be the world's first.
World's first what?
The world's first mutant.
I thought mutants didn't evolve until this century.
That's the common theory, yes, but these guys believe that the first mutant was born tens of thousands of years ago, and they believe he will rise again.
Rise
again.
They've been searching ancient sites. Isn't that crazy that our government, when we sent the military over to Iraq, that they were looking for something? Isn't it interesting that in 1979, Russia and Afghanistan were in a joint archaeological dig and discovered giant remains? And they also discovered a lot of interesting artifacts. And Russia recalled their archaeologist, and Russia zoomed over to Afghanistan and started to take it over. They have been looking for something, folks. And it is interesting that they are putting this in the movie. But you also listen to how they say that this mutant, this is the most ancient of mutants. Well, that's what Isis said about her father Saturn. He is the most ancient there is, right? The most ancient god. Okay, keep going.
Ancient sites all around the world for clues. These hieroglyphs describe a specific set of powers greater than any man could possess.
They think he lived all that time?
Yes and no. They believe he had the ability to transfer his consciousness from body to body, and whenever he was close to death, he would just take on a new body. Some of these may have been the bodies of mutants, enabling him to take their powers, amassing various abilities over the years.
An all-powerful mutant.
Exactly. And wherever this being was,
There he is, right there. The skeleton guy. And with his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And you see that right there? There's the unicorn right back there. There's the unicorn. Okay. I've already shown you guys in other videos all about the unicorn, all about the Samsung commercial. And there's the unicorn right back there. There is Saturn Cronus right here. So what does the mutant apocalypse say his name was over many lifetimes? And you're going to hear it here.
Principal followers, disciples, protectors he would imbue with powers.
Like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You got that one from the Bible.
Just like we presented in the Now You See Me movie, the 4 horsemen. And you saw the all-seeing eye and the numbers that are associated with Saturn, Cronus, the Ouroboros, so on and so forth. So here's something interesting he says here.
I got that one from the Bible.
Or the Bible got it from him. And wherever he ruled, eventually it would end in disaster.
Now, I want you to pay close attention because I've told this many, many times in my videos. When you're watching a movie that is going to be showing you clues, listen to the dialogue and watch what the camera does. If the camera zooms into something, there's most likely a message to be seen. Watch close. The hood ornament of the goddess is none other than Isis. Apocalypse is Saturn. Isis claims to be the daughter of Saturn. He is also Ra. He is going to tell you himself that he is Ra. He's going to say it.
Who are you?
Elohim, Shem, Ra.
Haha. So he says, I have been known by many names over many lifetimes. I have been known as Elohim. I've been known as Ra. And I have been known as Shin, not the Jap.
So, as I've already shown you, she showed the picture of Saturn Cronus, and he also explains that he's been known by other names as well. Ra. And the biblical Elohim. Now, isn't it interesting, as I state, that Enki is indeed Saturn Cronus, because we're talking about the age of Aquarius, folks. And we're also talking about the new golden age. Who ruled the golden age? According to the Greeks and the Romans. That's right, Saturn Cronus. This is the golden age, and it's also the age of Aquarius, the rulership of Enki. It's also the rulership of Cronus and Saturn. Right? Okay. So when you have the Sumerian and Babylonian tablets talking about a flood, and it was Enki who had saved Utnapishtim, Ziusudra, and Atrahasis from the flood. It was Enki who did all three of those. And then you have in the Bible, it was Elohim. Well, Enki is Elohim. He is Saturn. He is Cronus. He is Ra. He's all of those. And they're showing you that. They're giving you the clues in the movie. So now, I want to show you some other stuff on X-Men, and then I'm going to show you Superman and Transformers, okay? Now, I want you to listen to Ra, Cronus, Saturn, or Apocalypse, whatever you want to call him in this movie. I want you to listen to his words, because it is the exact same mantra as the World Economic Forum. We need to take the weapons. We need to do away with superpowers. We need to do away with all of that. Didn't we see the World Economic Forum talk about what the projection for 2030 is? The United States is no longer going to be a superpower. And the whole world is going to be ruled by a very select few. They say it. Listen to the movie, folks.
No more swords. No
More weapons.
No more superpowers.
U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower. Why? Because a handful of countries will dominate. Right. Because there will be no superpowers. No more superpowers. A handful of countries will dominate. Isn't that interesting? But there's more. Oh, there's so much more. Oh my God, you ain't going to believe how much more there is. All right, folks. Here's where you have to pay close attention, because I have to bring in another movie after this to show you what exactly this is all about.
What we're seeing is a magnetic phenomenon on a much larger scale than we saw in Auschwitz. The ground is full of magnetic elements: iron, nickel, cobalt. The ocean's floor is lined with them too. It's already begun at the lowest depths. Land masses will slow it, but not for long. Eventually, cities, urban centers, anything built since the Bronze Age will be wiped away. The death toll will be talking about the whole goddamn world. That's your gift. You saw it, didn't you?
The glory of what's to come.
You're going to take part in all this killing.
All this killing, huh?
Destruction.
The destruction?
Rip everything they've built from the ground. Wipe clean this world. And we will lead those that survive into a better one.
Right, a new world.
And me?
The new world order, right? As a matter of fact, he does say new world. Anyway. So I want you to think about what is meant by what he just said. All is revealed. Isn't it exactly what they show you in the movies, what they're going to do when they, especially with 9/11? If we would have had somebody saying all is revealed with 9/11, would we have known what he was talking about? Now we have this guy right here showing everything that's going to be going on with no more superpowers. The world is going to be destroyed and is going to be rebuilt back. That's what the whole World Economic Forum is about. I'm going to show you more about the World Economic Forum coming up in the next segment. But we got so much more to go in this segment, folks. So much more. So what you just saw, and I told you to keep your eye on, everybody. I want to show you one more piece here. Up right there. And of course, the camera is zoomed right in on his cast, and there it is right there. There's the eye, everybody. Okay, so now let's go to Superman, shall we? Superman 2006.
You know the story of Prometheus? No, of course you don't. Prometheus was a god who stole the power of fire from the other gods and gave control of it to mortals. In essence, he gave us technology. He gave us power.
So we're stealing fire? In the Arctic?
Actually, sort of. You see, whoever controls technology controls the world. The Roman Empire ruled the world because they built roads. The British Empire ruled the world because they built ships. America, the atom bomb, and so on and so forth. I just want what Prometheus wanted.
Sounds great, Lex. But you're not a god.
Gods are selfish beings who fly around in little red capes and don't share their power with mankind.
Hey, boss.
So you just got it right there that indeed they are saying that Superman, what have they been saying? He's from Krypton. But they call him a god throughout every Superman movie. He is a god. But what god is he? What god? Well, you're going to find out. And of course, it is important because it has to do with the World Economic Forum and what they are going to do or what they're trying to do.
I moved on. So did the rest of us. That's why I wrote it. The world doesn't need a savior.
You wrote that the world doesn't need a savior. But every day I hear people crying for one.
You're not seeing the big picture here, Miss Lane. Let me enlarge it for you. Not just an island, an entirely new continent. An extinct world, reborn on our own.
Why?
Land, Miss Lane. I mean, Kitty, what did my father used to say to me?
Will be underwater.
You guys remember these maps right here? The United States will be partially underwater, he's saying. Yeah, do you guys remember the maps from the movie Hunger Games? Do you remember all that? Exactly. And they're presenting that to you right here in this movie. So let's keep going.
Front property, in fact, they'll pay through the nose for it.
But millions of people will die.
Billions! Once again, the press underestimates me. This is front
Billions
page news.
of people
Come on, let me
will
say it.
die. Isn't that exactly what the Georgia Guidestones, what they call for in the commandments on the Georgia Guidestones? Yes, that we're talking about 7 billion people are going to die if they are going to accomplish their mission of having this world of 500 million inhabitants for perpetuity. And they're talking about that very thing right here. But I'm going to show you more. This. I want to show you something. So, as you may have already guessed, this boy right here is the son of Superman. Why did I show you this? Do you remember the presentations that I did on Rh negative blood type? That Rh negative are descendants of the gods? And I also said that there are individuals that have displayed superhuman strength to save a family member trapped under a car or whatever. They display superhuman strength. Now, he's a descendant of one of the gods. Are they trying to tell us Rh negative blood type? And does this where he gets his superhuman strength when he becomes stressed out or when he becomes in a state where he's trying to save a loved one? I do believe that is what you're seeing right there. Now, this is going to require you to listen, not just this part, but the very next part where Superman talks to his son. Okay? As I pointed out, that young kid is his son, and he's going to know it. But listen here and listen to Superman, what he says.
Imagine cities, vehicles, weapons, entire continents, all
Lex, are billions of people really going to die?
Yes.
A son becomes a father. And a father becomes a son.
And what is interesting about Superman is that Superman is not only Osiris, he's not only Zeus and Jupiter. If you read the Egyptian story very closely, you will find that Isis took the essence of Osiris and she cloned him, or she uploaded his conscious into a new being, Horus. Horus and Osiris are one and the same individual. And Superman is stating that the son becomes the father and the father becomes the son. Did you get that? Okay.
I will ensure the survival of our race. There is still hope. Hold that hope in my hand.
There's hope. Aha! Do you remember I told you, Osiris? I showed you the hope. They were talking about hope. Superman is Osiris, the Hall of Hope of Osiris. He held that hope in his hand.
Don't let this out.
I'll kill him.
Well, you'll be a pawn to them.
Another Superman movie calling Superman a god.
Kryptonians were conceived in chambers such as this.
There is the Orphic egg right there. As you can see, he just called it a Genesis chamber. What is another name for a Genesis chamber? An egg. That's right. What does it all start off with? An egg. And there's the egg right there. And you can see the serpent twining around the egg.
Such as this. Every child was designed. I believe that's a good thing. They won't necessarily make the same mistakes we did. Not if you guide them, Cal. Not if you give them hope. That's what this symbol means. The symbol of the House of El means hope. Believed that if the world found out who I really was, they'd reject me.
Ah, so now, if you listen close, is what he's saying is that if the world found out not what I was, but who I was, who exactly could he be, and why would the world reject him? So obviously they're giving you the clue that this is about a who, and he would be rejected.
They'd reject me out of fear.
I'm tired of safe. I just want to...
Convinced that I had to wait. That the world was not ready. What do you think?
What have they hit us with?
Looks like some kind of gravity weapon. Somehow they're increasing the Earth's mass, clouding the atmosphere with particulates. Oh my God. The terraforming.
They're covering the atmosphere with particulates? They are terraforming? Chemtrails? Is that what they're talking about? Because that's exactly what chemtrails is doing. Is that what they've been preparing with the chemtrails? They've been preparing this Earth for a return. That is a very good question. But in line with the movie X-Men, where everything was being destroyed because it was being terraformed, or it was being reformed, so that all of the people with the most power were going to survive and start a new world. Well, that's exactly what these gods are doing right here from Krypton. They are terraforming the Earth so that the strongest, or the Kryptonians, can survive. Well, are the Kryptonians are these the mutants from the X-Men? Well, just wait until you hear from the movie Batman versus Superman.
Terraforming.
What's that?
Planetary engineering modifying the Earth's atmosphere and topography.
Turning Earth into Krypton.
But what happens to us?
Based on these readings, there won't be an us.
General Swanwick, sir. I'm on with it.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S.
Okay, listen to what she says, everybody.
How about
Listen. She was just getting ready to say serpent. But of course, they didn't want to give it away, now did they? So they cut her off so you didn't get to hear that she was going to say, oh, that is a serpent. Aha.
Been here for 33 years, Doctor.
How long has he been here? 33 years. There's that magic number right there. I want you to listen close to this part right here. And it goes along with the terraforming of the planet. Because what exactly does he say that Clark had to adapt? He had to adapt to the world's atmosphere.
what's happening to him?
He's rejecting our ship's atmospherics.
Clark.
You've spent a lifetime adapting to Earth's ecology, but you never adapted to ours.
Help him.
I can't. Whatever's happening to him has to run its course.
Help him. Help him.
Is that the reason why they would be terraforming? Is that the reason why they presented in this movie that General Zod and his minions had to wear glass helmets because they were not used to the Earth's atmospherics? And that Superman, he spent years becoming adapted to our atmospherics. Is that why there's chemtrails being put in the air now? Are they preparing for the return visit of somebody? And maybe that's exactly what they were doing the last time that they were here, is making the atmosphere habitable. Or perhaps this Earth was a different atmosphere then, and they're making it habitable for them once again. Okay.
Lying at the bottom of the Indian Ocean, Emerald City.
beautiful. Now, Rocky is radioactive, but what he needs from you is an import license.
And why would we want to weaponize this material?
As a deterrent, a silver bullet to keep in reserve to use against the Kryptonians, so the day does not come, madame, when your children are waving daisies at a reviewing stand.
Last I looked, the only one of those flying around up here was Superman.
Yes, Superman. Yeah, but there are more of them.
The metahuman thesis.
Yes, the metahuman thesis. More likely than not, these exceptional beings live among us. The basis of our myths, gods among men upon our little blue planet here.
Gods among men. Meta-human thesis. That is where you cross into the X-Men. Isn't it interesting that the 2006 Superman movie was directed by none other than Bryan Singer? Bryan Singer is the director of the X-Men. Yes, all of these guys are interchangeable because all of these are telling a story. And the metahuman thesis, we're talking about X-Men, mutants, people who have superhuman abilities. Okay, well, I did have something pop up here, but you're going to hear and then you're going to see. So I want you to listen close.
On top of everything else, you above all. Because that's what God is. Horus, Apollo, Jehovah, Kal-El, Clark, Joseph, Kent.
Did he just say that the biblical Jehovah is none other than the god Horus? Horus is the son of Osiris, but Osiris and Horus are one and the same. That's what the Egyptian writings tell us, that Horus and Osiris are, that he is a reincarnation of Osiris. And he's just telling them right now, he's just saying that Superman is none other than Horus, Apollo, Jehovah, and yes, Clark Kent. Listen again.
Apollo, Jehovah, Kal-El, Clark, Joseph, Kent. See, what we call God depends upon our tribe, Clark Joe.
But are there other individuals in this movie that are part of this metahuman thesis that he's talking about? Wonder Woman. That's Isis. Absolutely. That is Isis. And Flash. And yes, the man from Atlantis himself, Aquaman. So they're showing you the meta-human thesis, which they said that they were all from Krypton, right?
I don't hate the sinner. I hate the sin.
10 seconds to
And
end.
yours, my friend, is existing.
8,
I cannot let you win. I gave the bat a fighting chance to do it, but he was not strong enough.
4,
So, if man won't kill God,
2, 1.
the devil will do it.
The devil will do it, huh? Oh, do you want to see exactly what he means by the devil? And I know you're probably thinking the creation that he made, right?
Look at us. This is how it all caves in. Civilization on the wane, manners out the window.
Civilization on the wane, huh? In the downslope?
But the bell's already been rung, and they've heard it out in the dark among the stars. Ding dong, the god is dead.
He's hungry. He's found us. And he's coming!
Okay, he's coming, huh? Who is coming, everybody? Who? Stay tuned, and you're going to see.
He's coming!
Ding, 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 ding.
they go from he is coming, and they take you right to this portrait right here. Does anybody recognize what this is right here? That's right. From A Childhood's End. And that's where we have to go next to find out about the World Economic Forum, everybody.
What? For threatening my dad.
Lady, this is the beginning of the end of your life. You're a criminal.
Remember Christian Lagarde's speech about the magic number 7? Remember what I told you about Abraxas? Remember what I told you about Superman being, that's right, Osiris, Horus, because that's exactly why would Transformers be placing Superman's logo on this chest right here? And this is a serpent, not an S. Just remember, Serpent 7. Who is the serpent? I showed you all of the pictures that I had from previously before with all the 7 stars. 7 is the magic number, folks. And it's right here. But you're also going to see another number appear here.
Criminal. Space facts. It's in your gene pool.
Nice. Rocket pineapple.
2, 3, 2, 3. That's right. The number 23. Things I want to show you before I go on to number 4, and there's going to be another one. There's going to be 5 total, I'm thinking here. Strange behavior of Earth's core reveals a mystery inside of our planet, from Yahoo News. So just like we've been seeing chemtrails being used to alter our atmosphere, perhaps, is there also something going on with the core of our planet? Strange behavior of Earth's core reveals a mystery. Scientists have discovered a mystery at the center of the Earth. The solid iron core of our planet is cooling faster on one side than the other, and nobody knows why. What could this mean? Is something being done intentionally? I don't know, but I just thought I would report that. Okay, there's more. And the great dragon was cast down, that old serpent that is called the devil and Satan. You remember from Superman, Batman versus Superman, he said he is coming. He is coming. And Liam Neeson in that commercial, Clash of the Clans, what did he say? I am coming with dragons and what? Exactly. I want you to read this about the Babylonian story of Enki and about the horse, the stag, right here. Babylonian Capricorn. As mythical symbols, the horse and stag both represent the rebirth of the sun. Isn't it interesting? Denver International Airport with the horse and these like rays coming out of its eyes, and it has like a bunch of unique features to it. Let's just put it that way. Is that what they're telling us? That this is the rebirth of the sun god? Is that why he is out there on the grounds of DIA? Okay, everybody, coming back full circle right here. We're going to now, because this indeed looks like Corellin from Childhood's End.